Hey everybody, what's going on? It's so good to be back every single Sunday, 7 o'clock. You guys know me, I'm Angelique Pierce. I am the founder of Ladder Masters Inspirational Leadership Group, better known as Ladder Masters. This is my weekly podcast, Silent No More. Let me tell y'all something real quick. Every week I have my eyeglasses on, and this week I don't. I got on contacts. So bear with me. If y'all see me squinting, I'm trying to be cute today. I'm trying to roll with Queen Adora. I'm trying to be like her. We'll see if I make it. All right. So you guys know I am a survivor of domestic violence, but I am also an advocate of freedom and of truth. And we speak truth on this podcast every week. So, all right, I'm only here for three reasons. I'll tell you that every single week I am here for three reasons because I only speak for three reasons. The first reason is to bring awareness. There is so much stuff going on that when you go to sleep at night, you wake up the next day, you go about your day, you have no idea what other people are dealing with. No clue. The second reason is to break down facades. People think they know, but they don't. You don't know, you better ask somebody. I used to say that. You don't know, you better ask somebody. But no, there's a lot of lies. There's a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings. And this podcast, a part of it is designed to break down all those facades and bring you what's really happening, especially around things that are going on in the world that you have no direct interaction with or understanding of. And finally, I build conquerors. Myself, I am a conqueror. This young lady that you're going to speak to today is a conqueror, and I personally know her, which makes it so special. All right, so before I go any further, you guys know I say a prayer. That is important to me to kind of get us where we need to be and to make sure my mind is in the right place because there's always a lot of things flowing through this brain. I think I don't even really sleep. I think I pretend sleep sometimes, but so I'm going to close my eyes just for a moment and literally say a quick prayer to make sure I am where I need to be and the words that come out of my mouth are the right words. So, Father, we just thank you for this day. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this time. I thank you for the power of a voice, the voice of Queen Adore, the voice of myself, Angelique. I thank you for our journeys and for our victories because here we sit, here we are together having a conversation that most people would forever expect to be kept in the dark. God, we thank you for liberty. We thank you for freedom. We thank you for power. We thank you for courage. We thank you for strength. That kind of power, courage, and strength that not a soul can ever take away from us. We thank you for all these things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 All right. So let's get started. I got a lot to say. And so does Miss Queen Adore. We got a lot to talk about today. So, first, my acknowledgments. This podcast is powered by the UB Podcast Network. UB meaning unique blessings. Oh my gosh, I shout this woman out every single week, and this is a very special episode because the woman I shout out, this is her daughter. Amen to that. So, Queen Unique, Miss Chantel Evans, this is her daughter, Queen Adore. I thank you, God, for these two women. I am looking at this beautiful face right now, and I am so proud of her because I don't know anybody like her. Anybody. So, God, I thank you. All right. So, I don't know if Queen Unique is watching. I don't know if she is, but I hope that she is. And if, listen, let me tell y'all something. The details of this story, they are not easy, right? So, they're not easy for any mother to hear. So, whether she's watching now or she can watch later or she never watches at all, she knows her baby, right? And so she's here. And by the way, Miss Queen Adore, you look good, girl. But you look beautiful. I love that smile. That smile does it for me every time I see it, every time. But I will tell you guys this. I did make sure she's good and grown. Queen Adore is good and grown, but I did make sure to get her mother's blessing to do this interview today. So, and I have it because this is her baby. So we're going to keep going. All right. So let me talk a little bit about what we're discussing. You guys know this podcast tonight, this episode is specifically titled Delivered from Evil, Surviving Human Trafficking. And this beautiful queen before me has done just that. And so I'm going to say a few things about what it is, because again, I break down facades. There are many misunderstandings about what it is. And so I want to tell you one thing that I learned in my research. I told you I study. The average age, the average age of a child bought and sold for sex is 13 years old. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? 13 years old. That's the average age. So what is human trafficking? It's also known as trafficking in persons, which is acronym TIP. It's a modern day form of slavery. Let's just say what it is. It's a modern day form of slavery, and it is a crime. Don't be confused. It is a crime under federal and international law, not just federal law, international law. So it is also a crime in the majority of U.S. states. So don't think it only happens where there's water, like there's a border somewhere, or it's like near a body of water, a lake, or no, no, no. It happens. It's a crime that happens in the majority of the United States, the states in the U.S. Human trafficking is defined as the recruitment, transport, transfer, harboring, or receipt of a person by such means as threat or use of force, other forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, or deception for the purpose of what? Exploitation. That's the purpose, period. Do not be confused. Do not be misled. So the definition of trafficking consists of three core elements. First, the action of trafficking, which means the recruitment. That's a big word. Queen Adore, that's a big word. Recruitment. Recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of a person. So that's one element. The second element, the means of trafficking, which includes threat of use of force. So even the threat of use of force. It doesn't have to be used, but the threat of using force. Deception under some misunderstanding or some lie, right? Coercion, abuse of power, or position of vulnerability. And the third element, the purpose of trafficking, which is always exploitation. Do not be confused. It is always for the purpose of exploiting. Exploitation shall include at minimum, the exploitation of the prostitution of others or other forms of sexual exploitation, forced labor or services, slavery or practices similar to slavery, servitude, or even the removal, this sounds crazy, but even the removal of organs. All right, now we're about to get into it. So before we start, now I told Queen Adora I was going to do this. Before we start, I want to say a few important things to you, Miss Queen. And these are positive affirmations because when we pour out like this, me too. My story's not the same as yours. We don't compare stories. We just tell them because we need the truth to be told, right? We just tell them. So, but my words to you today are some affirmations into your spirit and to your heart. First, you were never to blame. Never. You hear me? Got it. You are not alone. You know that already. First of all, you know that. You are not alone. You are so much stronger than you know, but you know what? I actually believe you know how strong you are. This was a little different, but you are stronger than you know. You define yourself, nobody else but you. You are no longer afraid or ashamed. How do I know that? Because you came to me and told me that you wanted to come on my show. You told me you were ready. I love that about you. You can break free and leave. You have to do it, and you actually did it. This is what I say to some domestic violence survivors. You did it already. It does get better. It does get easier one day at a time. I think you know that. You have experienced that. You are not a victim. You told me this. You are a survivor. You told me you are a survivor. You are victorious. I love this. All right. So here we go. So we're going to start way back at the beginning before anything happened. Anything happened. Okay. So my first question for you, Queen, is who was Adore? Who were you right before anything happened? Like, think back to the schoolyard, right? Like, what were you doing? Like, let's take it back to that point. I know you were in school. Like, did you like Skittles? Like, did you like Snickers? Like, did you have a bunch of friends? Were you listening to music? I already know you like music. Were you listening to music? Like, who was Queen Adore before any of this went down? Tell everybody.
Um, I was actually, um, I like talked a lot and I wasn't like scared. I like
Yeah.
singing.
You
Um,
like what?
I love singing.
Singing.
If I was like at one of my mom's events and stuff, you like best believe I'm gonna get the mic and stuff.
You gonna rock the mic. They ain't ready. Don't make me put you on the spot. Have you singing on the show? No, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. Go ahead. Like, did you have a lot of friends? Like, what was it? What was it like?
Yeah, everybody like knew me. I had I had well, I wouldn't call them friends. I had like associates.
Yeah, That word friends means something totally different to you now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's so funny because way back in like, and by the way, anybody that's listening, I need y'all to understand this is going to be a conversation. This is an interview or whatever you want to call it, but this is a conversation because we are two powerful women that have survived some things. What they say, there's some things with a day. And we want to talk about those things, but from a perspective of victory. I tell people all the time, we could talk about it from the pain. There was pain. But when we talk about this, we talk about it from the side of victory because we made it through and we're sitting right here talking to all of y'all. So you now look at friends differently. And we're going to explain to everybody why that is because I totally understand why that is. Were you like the class clown? Like what? Did you hear everybody cracking up? Because you silly as I don't know what.
I ain't, well, like in the class, really, I wasn't really, I was chill in the class.
Yeah, kind of laid back, kind of cool. All right. Now, so that's a feel for you. Like right now, how old are you right now?
19.
19 years old, looking fabulous. Listen, that wrap you have on your head is beautiful. Everything about you today, like I just love it. You are shining, baby. Now, what's that behind you?
Uh, I do this. This is
Very nice.
part of my story.
That's part of your story. You gonna tell us more about it later?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I'll wait. I won't mess it all up. I know I can jump ahead. All right. So, what we're here to talk about today is the fact that you went through a series of human trafficking situations. And for anybody that's listening, I want y'all to be very clear. Even when that definition I read, very connected, there's a lot of use of force and threats, physical, whatever it may be, coercion, manipulation, all words that if you watch any of my prior podcasts are connected to domestic violence. Very similar tactics are used to accomplish trafficking. So you were trafficked more than once. You seen it. Would you say been there, done that? Got the keychain, right? Like this is it was rough. We're going to talk about that. And I want you to talk about it to the extent that you want to talk about it. Now, Queen Adore has already told me that there is nothing off the table, right? That she just talks about it because she knows she's not the one to blame. She's not ashamed. She's moved forward. So I'm just going to let you tell us. I'm going to have you tell us more in detail. Let's start with situation number one. All right. So in situation number one, it took place in Charlotte, right?
Mhm.
All right. So I'm going to let you talk about it because I know the details and I've got the details in front of me. But this was over the course of about 4 days, I think you said that this all happened. Why don't you talk to us about what occurred over those days? Like how it even started? Like what happened? How did it even occur?
Um. Okay. High school. My ninth grade year.
So you were a freshman,
Yeah.
freshman in high school.
So I had a bunch of friends. Well,
Yeah.
thought they were my friends.
Right.
They were friends throughout middle school. So
Okay.
I thought it was genuine.
Okay. So
So,
these are people you knew from before that also ended up at the same high school as you. Okay. All right.
but like prior to that, like my mom always like would tell me not to hang out with them because she just doesn't feel right about them. But
Yeah.
I her so I it was like okay, so I always had a rule that I wasn't allowed to like have a phone because I like I like social media, but I never did like the right things on there.
Okay.
Like I was like trying to be like everybody, like Instagram. Like I see the the girls my age, and I just like try to be like them and stuff. But
Yeah.
they were like acting older in my mind,
Uh-huh. So
so
mom tried to tell you, huh?
yeah,
I think all moms do, but we think, you know what it is? Let me tell you something. We get to a certain size and the boobs get big and the butt get a little big, and we think we're as grown as our moms. We think we know. That's a part of it. I've been there too. Not the same situation, but I've been there. I've been there. All right. So what else? So now you got these friends, they're on Instagram and everything else, and you want to do what they're doing. And then what? You just didn't have a phone, right? You wanted a phone.
yeah. So I would go to school and like lunchtime I would talk to like my best friend. Well, I consider him my best friend.
Hmm.
I would always be like, yeah. I would ask him, can I hold his phone at lunchtime? And then he would just ask me if I had one. And I told him no, my mom wouldn't buy me one. And
Right.
so then he was like, well, I could get you a phone. And I was just like, oh, well, just bring it to school tomorrow.
Hmm.
He would do that. So every time I got caught with the phone, my mom took it. I just go to him for a new phone.
Dang.
So
So you would get a phone from him, mess up because your mom will find it some kind of way. She would take it and you get another phone, but you wanted that phone. You wanted a phone. All right. So it starts with the phone. So
yeah,
let's keep going.
that was like my weakness. Like anybody in school, like if y'all tell me that I can have like y'all backup phone and stuff, I would like, I'll even give you money for it because I just wanted a phone.
Mm,
Everybody
all
in
right.
had a phone, so I felt like I needed a phone too.
Yeah. All right. So now you got this person that can supply some phones to you. So then what happened? Let's talk about the day.
Well, the day before, my my high school best friend, he had called my mom. He had called my mom and basically told her like everything that happened to me. He was expressing to her that happened to him, but my mom
Mm.
didn't know that it was gonna happen to me.
So wait. You did tell me he talked to your mom in advance about himself, and it was a foreshadowing of what was going to happen to you, but that wasn't. Y'all didn't understand that's what was going on. Your mom didn't understand that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, where do we go from there?
So then, okay, so first, leading up to it, me and my brother always took the train home. So I never knew that he was like following us on the train.
Okay. Now
So
the he you're referring to now is following you is this person that eventually you ended up with.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So
okay,
he was almost like watching you.
yeah, but I never paid attention because like I was always by that time when he was following us, my mom had like gave me a phone, so I was always into my phone. I wasn't like really aware of my surroundings because I had my
Okay.
so I really didn't care.
Okay.
So um that day, uh, it was me and a group of friends was planning on skipping school, and
Nuh-uh, you ain't just say that. We won't skip school. I won't do that. None of us. Go ahead.
yes, because I was still like we was gonna go to the mall and go get me a phone.
Okay.
So I was with it, and I was I told them, yeah, we can go just as long as we make it back by like last period, because
Okay.
there. I didn't want to get.
Because what? Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
I was a bus rider. I didn't want to get.
Oh, you had to get back home, right? After school.
Yeah.
So, okay. Right.
So that never happened. Um, I didn't go to the mall. I ended up with the person who took me, and
Mm. And just for the sake of clarity, how old was this person about that took you?
he was ooh, he was in his late 20s, I think.
Okay. Maybe early 30s, somewhere in there.
I don't.
Okay.
Okay, so then after that, um I was okay, so I had found out that my so-called best friend had like paid all the people that we were with not to tell the police that what happened, like how I that they was with me that day.
Wow.
So like they told
The guy you went to school with, the guy who led you to this other guy. So your friend at school paid people to not tell what was going on.
Mhm.
I hate all of them. Him and all the people that took the money. I hate all of them. Go ahead.
Yeah, so then
So what was day one? Like you were there, right? Now you end up at this man's place. What
mhm.
was day one like there?
uh day one. Basically, so leading up to it, he told me that he had to go get his wallet. He left his.
Oh,
We were gonna go get me a phone. He left his wallet at home. So we went to his house and whatever, and I walked with him to his room, and he shut the door behind me, and like just started walking up like close to me, and like
mm,
I was like, when I realized that he like when he started tugging on my shirt, and I realized that he wanted to have sex with
yeah,
him. I wasn't with it. I just wanted a phone from him. So
yeah.
we had started fighting or whatever, and he had took my clothes, so I couldn't leave. So I didn't
Mm.
have no clothes or anything. So I was
You were literally naked in there.
yeah.
That was his way of making sure you never walked out the door because he figured you wouldn't run with no clothes on.
Mm.
Wow. Now I remember you talked to me about him using drugs, like trying to make you smoke. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Um, he is smoking weed and stuff. So I didn't smoke or anything, but he had like he was just sitting there. He had me. He was like, "Oh, hit the blunt." So I like I didn't inhale it. I just like puffed it, and I was about to blow it out. But before I could do that, he put his hands like this. So I had like
Yeah,
nothing but to inhale it. So
yeah.
kept like doing that like until I got high.
Mm.
Then
Now let's just rewind for a second. You are a freshman in high school, so you are 14.
mm,
Mm, baby girl. All right, all right. So he took your clothes and he hid them, and you were in a room. You were just like in a bedroom.
mhm.
Okay. All right. What was the sleeping situation like?
um when I had got found, when I walked out and whatever, his whole family lived there.
Mm.
His mom lived there, his sister, and she had a little daughter. She lived there, and her husband lived there, and then he lived there.
So all of these people are in this home. You didn't realize until you got found. You
Yeah,
probably thought you were alone
yeah, but I knew the little girl was in there because she had walked in on
one time when y'all were in the middle of. So where did he have you sleeping?
the floor.
On the floor and naked.
Hmm.
Mm, 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 mm. You told me before about how that first night you couldn't sleep. Tell me more about that.
Um, I just had a lot of things like thoughts going through my head. So like I was just like basically like beating myself up like, oh, you stupid. Why didn't you like could have seen it coming? And
Yeah.
then I was basically thinking, well, first I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble because my mom don't know where I'm at and stuff. And then
Right.
uh, but she's probably stuff. So it's just a lot of stuff going through my head.
Mm. So now
And
tell. Oh, go ahead.
then like prior like to that, he was like he would talk to like his friends and like basically trying to like make a like trade offs and stuff. So I also because I watch a lot of Lifetime movies. Like my mom will always like come in the room and make like try to make me change the channel because she's like, oh, you don't need to watch that. But like in that, I felt like, oh, this is what I be seeing on TV and stuff.
TV.
So I was just starting to get scared, like, oh, maybe like he probably gonna kill me or something.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Real quick, I want to point out something too. I know you told me when it was time to go to the bathroom. How'd you do that?
I had the bathroom in a cup.
In a cup because he didn't want you going out that room. You were going to be in that room as much as he can make you. So now let's talk about the second day. I remember you said you had actually started snooping around his room, trying to find back to a phone, right? This phone thing, right?
Yeah, because he had left. So like I realized like the past like the couple days leading up to when I had got found, he will always leave out like at the same time and like just be gone. So
Mm-hmm.
I had he left out. I had went through like all his drawers and everything and like all over. So he had a phone or whatever. So I had a Facebook and whatever that I wasn't supposed to have logged in or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
I added like all of my family members because
Yeah.
their real names on Facebook, so it was easy to find.
Right.
Just like made a post saying like help me, and then I just would like turn the phone off and hide it whenever he comes back.
Okay. So you put that post on Facebook, and we'll find out how that post later was the key to you getting away, right? But you did try to contact a family member while you were there. Um, oh my gosh. Was this like, was it constant? Was he constantly forcing you to have sex? Was he constantly
I
trying
don't,
to,
I don't crazy to me because some like it would be only like it wouldn't be all day. Like sometimes he would be like, "Oh, let's watch a movie," and he'll put a movie on, and he'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna smoke while we're watching a movie, and we're gonna
mm,
get," and then that's when he'll just make me go on the floor and be like, "Okay, I'm going to sleep." But it, the rest of the time he was.
absolutely. All right. So you talked about something that was outside the door also to add fear to you. What did he have outside that door?
One night he was like in a deep sleep, so I was like, "Okay, I don't care. I'm just gonna run outside. I'm gonna just leave, and I'm just gonna like knock on somebody's door, and they see me. I don't got no clothes on, so they tell me come inside, hopefully, and call the police." So I had went to open his room door, and like I seen a dog shadow. I don't know what kind of dog it was. I just know it was a dog, and I had shut the door and just lay back down, and then I was
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. So last day you were there. I know that that was the day, that was day number 4 where you actually got away. And this goes back to you making that post on Facebook. Talk about how you got out of that situation.
Um, First, I had my uncle. I had called him or whatever, and he was telling me like, just run out the door, or don't worry about no clothes, and I was like nervous, so I didn't do what he said. So
Yeah.
when he had came back home later on that day, he we had sex, and I want to say like it was like literally like 12 o'clock, or like I don't know if it was like really like 12 on a dot, but I know it was the next day. Um, so literally it wasn't even like daytime yet. And then like right when we was done and I was getting off of him, um, I bet. Oh
You
wait,
what?
before I even got found, I had like told him like the second or third day, I had told him that he was gonna be famous because I was gonna get found and stuff like that. He was just calling me stupid and saying there was something wrong with me and stuff. But anyway,
Like you're gonna be in your own movie because they're gonna find you and it's gonna be on TV, right?
so anyway, after that, when I was getting off of him and about to go on the floor to go to sleep, I had seen like the police lights, and his mom had opened the door. Like I could hear the voices, and
Yeah.
they was acting like, oh, I guess they showed the picture because they said, is she here?" And then that's when he had told me, he said, "Stay here and don't move." And then that's when he walked out and shut the door, and then
Hmm.
he had the police show him the picture, and then that's when the mom was like, "Oh, I seen her on the news," and then that's when he had told the mom like, "Oh, you didn't think to tell me," and then I just ran out, but I was trying to run. I didn't want to go to the police, but they like made
They
me.
saw you. Yeah.
I was just wanted to get away.
And what did they tell? How did they tell you they found you?
Huh?
How did they tell you that they found? How did they find you?
Oh, on the IP address on Facebook.
There you go. So it's amazing how you got into it by a phone, but got out of it by a phone too. Isn't that something? God, oh my gosh. Real quick, let me just tell everybody that's watching. This stuff is tough to hear. You got to remember, Queen Adore just said she was 14 at the time, and this guy was in his late 20s, maybe, right? At the time. And he's treating her like she just is whatever to him, like just trying to use her up. But thank God for safety and for the police showing up and getting her out of there. I want to tell you, right now to the audience, if you guys are posting comments, I'm having trouble seeing them from my personal page. So if you're on the Angelique D's Pierce personal page, I'm not seeing comments from there. I am seeing comments from the Ladder Masters page. And so I'll show those. So if you want to come out and go back in real quick and get on the Ladder Masters page or open them both, because I keep two devices going sometimes. I'm only right now able for some reason to see comments from the Ladder Masters page. So that's just letting you know. So after you get out, right? And I'm gonna move this one along because you got a couple more to go. After you get out of this situation, what happened to the guy that pretended to be your friend, the one that lured you into it? What happened to him?
I don't know to him. I know that he tried to get in contact with me after I had was found, but I just because he tried to take my Snapchat, but I just blocked him and I
He
never.
tried to reach you on Snapchat. Like, y'all cool.
Yeah,
Dude, really? Stop playing games with me. Hmm. All right. So now talk to me about you went to the hospital, right? Cops got you went to the hospital. I'm sure they did that rape kit. Talk about that situation, what they found, and then what happened with the police.
they found his DNA like all over me, so because I had to give them my clothes, and then they did like that little them swab stuff.
Right.
So it was like they proof, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Then the police, I didn't like them. They didn't know
Yeah.
y'all. Cause when they like okay, so first when I had got found, they had they had brought me like a whole bunch of food because like I was really hungry and thirsty. So they had took me to McDonald's and brought me like 2 meals. And I was eating them, I literally like they was gone as soon as I got. So then when they brought me into the investigation room, I was confused because I thought they was like on my side. And
Mm.
then they was basically like, "Oh, if you don't say that you wanted it, then you know that you could go to jail too, and we're gonna lock you up right here and right now." So I didn't want to talk to them. I basically just asked them if I could just go on my.
I mean, it makes you wonder, like, what? First of all, you're 14. They are basically interrogating you and telling you what to say, and if you don't say something else, you're gonna get more in trouble. Like, completely forgetting the trauma you just been through. That kind of stuff, just gets to me. Um, I know we talked about the situation you were in. You weren't allowed to talk much there, and so after that, how you became a little more into yourself and a little less talkative.
Um, like big all of my situations, I wasn't like able to really like talk because even like when I was with other people, like when it was
Yeah.
other girls, we weren't able to like really talk. It's like you're mute, so
Mm.
kind of got used to that. So like even now, like I I gotta be like real comfortable with you to just be chill.
I get it. Thank you for being on the show with me. That tells me something about me. It makes me feel good that you do feel comfortable talking with me because this is deep. This is like stuff that, like you said, it's lifetime movie stuff, right? That's what people think. But I know you, like I personally know you. Like, oh man. So last thing I want to talk about this is the hearing for this guy and also school. Let's talk about the school thing first. What happened with school?
Um, school. They didn't do good either. They basically like when I was like still like when I had first came home like from the hospital and like I was just like I literally could just sit like how I'm sitting here like now and just daydream for literally hours and like not
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
I was just like still like traumatized, I guess you can say.
But how long after you got out the hospital did you try to go back to school?
I was out of school probably for like a month,
Okay.
but the
Mm,
aware because the school I went missing from school, so they was aware.
yeah.
Um,
Did you finish school?
no, they kept marking me absent, and then when I wanted to like go back and stuff, they had told my mom that I was a dropout.
Mm,
And then my English teacher, she was racist. She told my mom I couldn't pass her class even if I tried.
I just want to line all of them up and whoop all they all of them. Like, are you serious? Like, I swear, I just okay. All right. So they basically didn't let you finish school. They called you a dropout, ignoring what you've been through. You are currently trying to get your GED right now, right? Still trying to finish up, right? All right. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about real quick is the trial. You never testified, right? You never testified at that. And I understand. We talked about this before. The blessing in this is that the state already had a case against him anyway because of the fact that they know your age, they knew his age, and they found his DNA on you. So the state, without you testifying, had a case. So at the end of the day, what was he charged with?
He had 3 years.
3 years for statutory rape. Yeah. Um. Woo. Let me just tell you, I'm so thankful you sitting right here because this story does not always end this way. Like it doesn't end this way. You are here able to speak to me, and there are, I ain't gotta tell you, you know better than me that there are girls that never make it home and still are there now. Wherever there is, that's where they are right now. And oh, all right. So that was the first situation, right? We got through that. You gotta try to get your life back together. Tell us about how situation number two occurred.
Um, what was that?
This
Okay,
was with his
yeah. Well,
sister. Yep.
so I have two sisters. So like my sister on my father's side,
Yep.
I would get her out of it. Well, cause she like we was looking for her, and then I found pictures of her like with her like she was beat up and stuff.
Mm.
So
So now this other sister ended up being in a similar situation somewhere else.
yeah, but she doesn't really talk about it, so I can't really say too much on that.
And we won't. So the only thing we'll talk about there is that you tried to get her out
Yeah,
by,
so
yeah.
I basically just put myself or basically like switch.
So you traded yourself for her to get her out. Do you know how heavy that is? Like you've already said it to me, but even hearing it again, there's like how do you say it? There's like a thankfulness, like, and I'm like, God, you would risk yourself knowing, and you knew what the circumstances could be, that you would risk your life for someone else that you thought might not make it because you thought you could maybe help her by letting her get out, and you would just stand in her place.
Yeah, I had ran away because I my mom didn't know, but I knew like my mom wouldn't. She would be like, I knew she wouldn't be like, oh well, yeah, you go. So
Right, of course not.
I had to like, they like drove from Baltimore to Charlotte to come and get me, and then drove from Charlotte back to Baltimore.
They came to get you and took you back to Baltimore. All right, so now tell us who you were taken. You don't have to say names, but tell us positions. Tell us who you were taken by. I'm
Uh,
about to scream just before you even say it. Tell us who you were taken by.
it was a pastor and priest son. It was their adopted son, but they was in it too.
So a pastor, and I think you said his wife was involved, and they basically took you for his son.
Mhm.
All right, I had to breathe. This one always gets me. I can't. This one's hard for me. They're all hard for me, but this one especially. And you told me that they called your mom and said something to your mom. What was that?
Yeah, they asked because I was sitting right there. So they had told my mom basically asked her they said, "Oh, can we keep her? Cause my son really likes this one."
Can we keep her? Because my son really likes this one. When you first told me that story, I said, "What are you, a puppy? Like, are you a pet? Can we keep her?" Just and then the thought of it being a pastor and his wife, and it was the wife that actually spoke to your mom. Am I remembering this right?
Mhm.
God, like I just kept thinking, you're a woman. How could you do this to a beautiful young queen? Oh my gosh. So I'm sure your mom said, hell no, or some derivation of that, right? Oh my gosh. And then she went about the process of trying to get you back. Mm. So you told me something about the son that he kept trying to do something with you.
Uh, impregnate me,
He kept trying to get you pregnant.
but I never got pregnant.
Can we say a huge, like, can we raise our hands for that one? Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Because nobody was supposed to find you, right? Like nobody was supposed to find you. They came and got you, and you were supposed to be there for quite a while. Nobody was supposed to find you. He was gonna get you pregnant, and I guess what? Have you gonna have a baby there? What was
Yeah,
the plan?
the baby was gonna be. I was gonna recruit my baby.
Oh my God. So the plan was for you to literally get pregnant, carry the baby, deliver the baby, and the baby was gonna be in being trafficked too.
Yeah, cause you make a lot of money if they virgin. You make like a bank.
Mm. If the child is a virgin,
So
you
you.
get paid. They get paid more for a virgin. Yes, yes, King. Oh my God, Jesus. Yes. All right. So, but here we go with the police again. The police get there before this all goes down. Tell us more about that.
Um.
You mentioned there were other guys, I think, in the house.
Yeah. They Well, I never did nothing with them, but like I guess I was supposed to. But it was other girls there too.
Mm,
So like literally right before it happened, I seen one of the girls. She had got beat up because
mm,
she was trying to leave. So like I tried to help, but I didn't want to like get in that. So
mm.
like was trying to like I told her to run and stuff, and he like chased her down the street and was
And he
like,
got her.
yeah.
So, how old do you think this other girl or any of the other girls were?
The other girls they were older than me. They were like 17.
So they were still teenage looking, though.
Yeah, every night like we had to like get drunk and I guess like doing like us the party
They
and
wanted y'all to party,
yeah.
get drunk, and then I guess that would make you loose enough for them to do whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah, and like okay, so like another part of the story, when I left, I had a puppy. She was like my best friend. I like
You had
took
a puppy in the house?
I took her with me. Yeah. But she passed away there.
Oh,
So
because of not being cared for? Or did someone do something to it?
yeah, I didn't walk her or nothing.
Okay. Well, at least you had somebody there that brought you some sunshine because that sounds like it's a very, very dark place. I mean, and just to the audience, I mean, I want y'all to like listen. This queen was not by herself. There were other girls there, other men there. If you aren't hearing anything else, you need to hear that there is a sick cycle happening all around us. And we get up and we go to work every day and we go to the grocery store, whether that's Walmart, Giant, wherever you shop, I don't know. But we go about our everyday lives not thinking that someone's watching us and not thinking that that girl right there or that boy, because you told me boys are in it too, that boy right there who's walking with this adult is not the person or not in the situation you think they're in. We have to open our eyes and open our mouths when we see something going on. All right, I won't stay here too long because this is amazing. So, a pastor and his wife. Oh God, I just wish I could run into them one good time. One good time. All right. All right. So number three, tell us about the third situation. You told me that this time you actually ran away.
Yeah.
All right, baby. Let's talk about that.
Um so like I ran into this situation, but not by like not on purpose.
Yeah.
So I had spent some time in behavioral health. So I
Like a
had,
hospital?
yeah,
Okay.
I had met someone in there and whatever. So I had, we ran away, and I had actually like introduced her to it when we,
Mm.
so, um, but she turned on me because she was started working with them. So like, I really like hate her with a passion still
I
to.
bet you do.
So,
So
um,
what so wait a minute. Let's back up a step. She turned on you like she became one of their people. She was on their side.
yeah,
What does that look like? When someone turns on you and they're on the side of these traffickers, what do they do? How are they treating you?
like them.
Mm. Tell me more about what happened. I know that at this point, I think you told me both of y'all had missing persons reports on you. Both
Yeah.
of you, right?
Well, I had a missing person report. She had a warrant.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
well, both like still missing person reports, I guess.
Yeah. So the FBI, the police, who's ever is looking for you guys is the bottom line.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So at one point, I think you told me that they found y'all, but didn't realize they found you. Is that right?
Yeah,
This is crazy. Tell us that.
we was at my friend's house. So in the missing person report, I had like a wig on. So I changed my look. So I had like twisted my hair because I was about
Yeah.
to. So I guess they didn't know the difference. So they had found me, and I had basically just act like that wasn't me because they didn't. They asked me if I seen me. So
You said, have you seen yourself? It's so silly. And you're like, no, I don't know who that is. Now,
yeah,
but why would you do that? Why in that situation would you say, no, that's not me?
I didn't want to go. I wanted to go home, but I was scared because I didn't know how to lie. I knew I heard my mama, and I didn't want to like face her or nothing. So
Mm,
I just stay away, and when she, I guess, called me and asked me to come home, then I come home.
then you go. Okay. So you thought you were doing the best thing from the perspective of you felt like you hurt your mom, and the hurt that your mom was in, the pain your mom was in was worse than what you were going through where you were.
Yeah, and then I had my first son already, and then I didn't want to like I didn't know I didn't want to like come and like I guess interrupt his life or nothing.
Mm. So your son was with your mom, right? I know the story. Ah, oh my gosh. All right. So the FBI comes. You're like, no, that ain't me. I don't know who that girl is. That's a shame, right? Like, I don't know. That's a shame. I hope they find her, right? You kind of doing that thing. You stay. Now, let's get back to this friend because things get worse, right? She turns on you and they start having you do what?
Well, so before we got to that, my friend mom had like basically was like, oh, well, like you guys can't stay here because they're gonna come back or whatever, and we can't get in trouble. So
Yo,
you
yeah.
with my friend. So he had introduced.
So real quick, where you were, they said, listen, the cops been here. It's too hot. Y'all gotta go. I
Hmm.
got somebody I know you can go stay with.
Hmm.
This is where it really starts, right?
Yeah, because he was like a gang. He was in a gang, so that's like when it got like really bad.
Mm,
So then, when we got there, like we was there for a couple months. So after like a couple months, he was like, he had came to us and basically was like, well, okay, so no, he came to me because he had already had her selling drugs with him, so she was making, I guess, money for him, and she was
okay.
making money too. So that's how she started going on their side as well.
Okay. So
So
she was making money for them and she's making money for herself. So at this point now she's kind of working with them. And
yeah,
you on the other hand weren't doing that stuff yet.
yeah. So then that's when they had came to me, and basically he was like, well, if you want to stay in here, you're gonna have to help pay bills and you're gonna have to make money because you can't stay here for free. So I'm like, well, I can go get a job at McDonald's or something because they don't do like background checks or whatever. So,
Yeah.
or and they won't like look me up and whatever. So he was basically like, no, that's gonna take too long. We need fast money. So then he walked me up on a street. It was Garrison Street.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I'd never seen that before. Like I'm used to like just going in a hotel room, but these I seen like literally I seen other prostitutes.
So
So
so wait a minute. I hope y'all keeping up right now. We have now transitioned from the scenarios of before where you were in a house or in a hotel room or whatever. This man basically told you, you want to be here, you need to make me some money on this street.
well,
He
no,
forced.
I mean that I meant going to houses because it's more with that. I never been to.
Okay, okay,
I got
okay, okay. Ooh, keep going. This is intense. And tell us about how this friend played a role in this, too.
okay. So, um, she was supposed to watch me. So he had a gun. I guess I was supposed to be scared of. So he had like okay, so like when it would be too cold outside, cause this is when it was like cold and whatever.
Yep.
So when cold, him and his wife would just sit in the house, and then he would give it to Lashanti and give Lashanti. Oh,
It's all right. Keep going. Keep
mm.
going. Just keep going.
Then but he would give her his keys, and then he would have her walk me to the corner, and she would have to duck off so like the cars didn't see that nobody was watching me because they wouldn't stop
Because
her.
they wouldn't stop, of course. Yeah. But her job was to keep you in line and make sure you made that money.
Yeah. So
Was there an expectation of how much money you had to make sometimes? What was the situation?
sometimes it'll be like if he had like a bill he gotta pay, we can't come
Yeah.
back. We make that much. That because he'll be like, oh yeah, this is what bill. Okay, so like she was on their side, but when it would become time like, oh, you gotta pay, he would be like, oh, y'all. So
Yeah, right. So she had to make sure you made that money because she was in trouble too if you didn't.
and if we didn't like, if it get too late and they have to come and get us, well, they wouldn't. She wouldn't get in trouble for it. I would get in trouble because it was my job. So
Mm,
like when like you're in a gang, you don't do something they like beat like hit you in your chest like and it hurt like really bad. So
And you experienced that.
yeah, everybody had to. He made everybody do that to me that night.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I must have missed this the first time. Multiple people were hitting you in your chest.
Yeah,
Men.
yeah. It was three of them, and then the wife and the person that I was with.
God. Oh God. How does this like? How do these people even walk the same earth with us? Like I just. Okay. All right. So if you think about how long now, listen. If you're watching this show and you on a time clock and you want to get off at 8, we're not getting off. We're gonna get off when she's done telling the story because at the end there is light, right? It's who you are today. So we're gonna finish this up, even if it takes another 10 minutes or so. But when you were out there and when she was watching you, how many hours would you be out there at a time trying to make this money with these men?
Mm,
2, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it took, whatever it took.
yeah,
Mm, mm, mm,
it,
mm.
it was one situation. I had got really scared. Okay, so all three of them was outside watching me. I had got in the car with this one guy, and I couldn't like. It literally was reminding me of the Lifetime movie because I couldn't open the door. Even
Mm.
like even if it was unlocked, I really couldn't open it. And he like
Ugh.
bed and like was driving. And first he drove around like the block, and I seen them three walking, and I tried to like signal them in the window like help, like something is alright.
Mm-hmm.
ignored it. So I literally had to beg the guy to like let me out because he was like talking crazy and was like, I can't stand girls like you. Uh,
Ooh.
um, I should just shoot you right here. And
He
I
said
was,
he should just what? You cut out. He should just what?
he said I should just shoot you right here.
Oh my God.
I literally was crying. I was basically like, I promise I won't do it again. Just let me out the car. And then he let me out, and I had went
Mm,
house. I just started crying, and I just told them. I basically when they had came and walked up to me, I basically just like cussed all of them out and just walked away.
mm. How did you this one, this is the one you said you were there for a long time, right? You were in Baltimore that time, a long time, like many, many months, right?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. You told me one time you were on a subway and you saw a relative, but you had something on your face so that person didn't recognize you.
Yeah, so he lived next to my uncle. So I was walk. We had to walk his wife every morning. We had to walk his wife to the subway before so she could go to work. So
Mm-hmm.
this particular day we had I thought like we would walk there every day, but like I thought it was my uncle's house, but I wasn't like really sure. So
Mm-hmm.
because every time we would walk past, I would just look and I would just be like, I think that's my uncle and my auntie's house. But I never like was sure. So
Yeah.
this particular day, he was my uncle and my auntie was outside, and he like knows how I walk for some reason. So I was walking past and I had like a face mask on because he made me put a face mask on whenever we left the house. So I was
I
walk
mean,
I had walked past and I heard my uncle calling my name, and he was like, because my nickname is Nook, so he was like Nook, and I ignored him because I didn't want nothing like bad to happen. So I just kept walking, and I heard my auntie, and I heard them fussing in the background, and
yeah,
auntie was like, "That's not her. That's not her." And my uncle was like, "That is. I know my niece. I know my niece." And then it like made me sad, but I kept walking.
because
And
you knew you had to be quiet because you didn't want anything else to happen, especially because you think they would do something to your aunt and uncle?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it.
my uncle was crazy, and I didn't want him getting in trouble either.
Mm.
And I didn't want like a whole bunch of like just a big thing to blow up because like of me.
Yeah, understood. It's amazing how we want help. I've been in that situation too, because my brother used to be like, I'm coming down, and I used to be like, no, I gotta get myself out of this. Like, I don't want you shooting him, then you end up in jail, and then it's my fault because it's over me. I gotta get myself out of this. That's how I kind of saw my situation. So you told me about a time with the same person that I think you said you guys ended up at a hotel, and you told me about a cut across your chest. What happened there?
Yeah, that healed up, thankfully. But um, okay, so when before like leading up to like when I left that situation,
Yeah.
uh, his friend had robbed the hotel that we. Okay, so we were staying in the hotel in front of the one that they had robbed. So they
Okay.
cameras literally all over there. So they had robbed it. I wasn't in there. So like before they robbed it, like earlier that day, was telling him that I don't want to be there. I want to, and he was like, oh, well, he said, well, it's only one way out. I'm gonna call hospitals and tell them that. So like the term that they use is, we're gonna put you on the menu, or
We're
the
gonna put you on the what?
menu is what they say. So he had called like a bunch of his gang friends and told him that, and I had told him that I would stay and don't tell them don't come over or whatever. So then
So
that
you said you wanted to get out. He said it's only one way in and one way out, and if you get out, then we putting you on the menu. That's how it goes. So if they would have come, they would have killed you.
yeah. So first
Oh my gosh.
I had like locked myself in the bathroom. He had like kicked the door in, and he had like a pocket knife and was like waving it, and I was like moving back, and then like when I like almost fell like on the tub, he just like cut me a little bit. So I had I was staring out the window. I was just praying that like something happened to him. I didn't care what happened. I just wanted to get away from him. So then after they had robbed the hotel behind us because he had needed a way to pay for another night.
Mm-hmm.
He was gonna go because his drugs he didn't sell them, so he was gonna just go in the hotel in the back and they were gonna rob it. And his friend had left, so his friend never got charged with it, but his friend never knew what he was doing. So um after that, the police had kicked in the doors and they had locked him up. So he
So
like is in jail. He's got 14 years.
good. Should be longer than that. But he got locked up for the robbery. Nothing to do with you necessarily. But because they didn't have any proof you were involved, you got away. You got let go or whatever.
I wasn't in their security cameras. They had footage of him like robbing it and walking away.
Okay. All right. So he's locked up. And I think you said you would consider would you consider this situation the worst one out of the ones you've been through?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
there was so many pieces to
I
it.
had, I had like I remember it was one time when I had he had got me a hotel room and it's this app called Tagged. I had to go on there and I had to like it's called okay, so like I was basically it's like a back page. So
Mm.
I would
If
have
anybody doesn't know what that is, Backpage is pretty much a place where people find people to buy them for sex, right?
yeah, so it was
Mm.
time when he had left and I don't know where he went. And he told me he'll be back later on the night and to make some money. So I had one guy come and he had gave me $60 and then I was getting ready for the next one and two guys had came in and they had forced me to have sex with them.
Oh, you didn't tell me this one.
So he had came in and he made it worse because like I was just like sitting there like daydreaming how I was when it happened like the first time like when my mom
Oh,
first and he was basically like, oh, what's wrong with you? I hope you didn't take no drugs. Why are you sitting right there? And like it was like I was like because they had made me bleed, so I was bleeding, and he was like, "Oh,"
uh, uh,
he was just
baby.
he was just cussing me out, and I just wanted him to leave me alone.
And it was two guys.
Yeah,
Sorry. Ah, you didn't tell me this one. Okay, I'm good. I love you. You are amazing to me. You are amazing to me, and you sit here and you can talk and like God. I'm just grateful for your strength. I'm grateful for your story. I know I'm crying, but like somebody needs to hear it. People really do think this stuff is just movies. Or they think never me, never my child, never my this, oh, my baby would never this or that. They don't know. They don't understand the process. And so I thank you because you are giving information that allows people to like I say I like to make it possible for this to be awareness and action, right? Awareness and action so that when it's your turn and someone else's turn is raising a child, raising my daughter, I can kind of say things to her because now I understand it better. I'll never know it like you did. I pray I never know it like you did. But you are giving me even tools to use to help my baby. Listen, you are phenomenal to me. You are girl. I ain't I keep telling you the same thing, but I mean it's because I mean it. I mean it. So at the end of the day, you got away from this one guy, the guy with the gang, which really there were so many elements. They had you prostitution, they had you drugs, they were physically abusive. They did all this stuff to you. You get
yeah.
away from that. Go ahead, baby.
Um, experience all the drugs. because I
Ah,
his test dummy. So I had to try all everything he had, like his new supplies.
so is that like okay? We talked about weed, all right, but you're like it's way beyond that. What kind of drugs are we talking? They made you test.
Yeah, I had cause he sold Molly. He sold like the needles.
Oof.
It's this thing called strips where
Strips.
mhm, where you can either put it in your mouth or you can sniff it. He made me like sniff it.
Mm. These are actual strips. They're
Um,
like
it does when you wet it, it dissolves into like a liquid.
okay, I got you. They
Uh,
had you doing all that.
he had Xanax perks, all of it.
Mm. But here you sit today, past all that. Ah, you are a queen. You are a queen. Amen to that. Okay, all right, all right. So we gonna stay up here because down there is not good. Up here is where we gonna stay today. So situation number 4. This one was someone you met on social media, right? And I know you. And so you talk about how you thought you were being kind-hearted and it turned into something you never expected. So let's talk about that one.
Um, this one I was staying with my friend or his mom, and like this, he never did like he was. He was like brother. Well, my
Yeah,
little because he was
right.
so. I was on Facebook one day, and me and his mom, we was all chilling. So I was on Facebook looking at people. Facebook had like this thing where it said like my story. I was
Yeah,
looking at stories, and then I seen this one particular person, and he was like, "Oh, I need somewhere to stay there." So I had asked him, I said, "Oh, can we help this person?" And they was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And he came like like um basically I had started talking to him, which I shouldn't have. And one thing and I had found like not like in sex trafficking but like in like a domestic violence, and it sent me into a depression, and
yeah.
uh basically um I don't know.
Oh, well, I remember you were telling me that in this situation, he was very physically violent
Yeah.
and he would beat you really bad. And you told me about some of the damage that was done. So tell me more about it because you're even still dealing with something today as a result of it.
Uh yeah. He basically uh I had like expressed that I didn't want to talk to him because I had found out that he had HIV. He didn't tell me.
Yeah.
I didn't get it, so
Thank you, God.
so
Whew.
I didn't want like no dealings with him, and cause like I just didn't want no parts of him because he was already like domestic. He did a lot of stuff, and I like hated him. I hate him. So um then the night okay, so leading up to that, I had witnessed like a lot of stuff too, but I hang with him, and he had a friend and whatever. So I had ended up going his friend. I had ended up going down the street. It's this lady. Her name is Miss Marilyn. I can say her name.
Okay.
She helped me a lot, and she basically helped me get home. She talked to my family and everything. So she lived in a senior citizen building. So she will always like even when I had to like sleep outside sometimes, cause like he would get mad or and wouldn't let me come in. So I had to sleep outside, and I would be hungry. And Miss Marilyn will always tell me like, make sure you come down here. You can shower, eat, and she will always like cook me dinner. But she didn't like him. She didn't want him. So she took me in, and, like coming back home. She had let her like just stay there all day, all night, and whatever. And one night I was like, I like let him like trick me, I guess you can say, into meeting him, cause he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, let's I want to work it out." So I told Miss Marilyn I'm not coming there tonight, and I had went and met him, and
Mm,
on my grandmother while I had caught her in the middle, cause he had started like when we met, he like started beating on me, and
mm,
caught my grandmother, and cause my grandmother like called the police there, but when he realized that my grandmother called the police, he basically like drugged me in the alley, and like he left me for dead. So
mm. Now, what did he do? You talked about a few things he did to you
he
with your
was
knee, with your neck, with, I mean,
yeah, he was punching me and kicking me in my stomach. I was pregnant with my son. Uh, he was kicking me in my stomach. He punched me.
mm,
My jaw is like messed up today. When I came home, I had a broken kneecap. It was like a lot of stuff. Well, my kneecap was bust open. I had a lot of stuff,
mm. We left out,
and oh
oh, go
yeah,
ahead. Yeah, we got to talk about this part.
like it was really bad because like I really didn't want to be in that situation. I wanted to come home, so like I like thought that I would never come home. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be in this situation. I'm not gonna go home, so I'm just gonna kill myself. And I like walked downtown Baltimore. I was gonna jump into like the harbor because like their water is really deep, and like if you jump in,
So your intention was to just let it all go.
yeah, and then I
I,
felt my baby move.
and then you felt the baby move, like toes right at the edge, about to jump.
Yeah,
What's your baby's name?
Prince.
And that prince, your prince, moved in your belly and he reminded you he was there and you didn't do it. Ooh. And if y'all can meet this little thing today, he's something else. He's something else. But he moved in your belly and you were about 4 months pregnant, I think you told me at the time. Yeah. You got back home.
Yeah, and
He also I think you told me he strangled you as well. Like and literally he left you there. Like you was going just
yeah, my mom, she had pictures like it had marks on my neck and everything.
mm. So now y'all heard it. We're talking about four situations that are intense. One that I didn't know that kind of set me off. I wasn't ready for that one. Queen, you threw me off with that one. I had to gather myself. I think my nose is still running from, from that one. So we breathe. We got to breathe, take it all in. Okay. How did you do it? Like I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one listening to this and being like, ain't no way. I probably would have jumped, right? How did you make it through all of this trauma? Like what did you think about when you were in the situations, when you were on the street? Like, how did you make it through all of that?
I'm a silly, so
Yeah.
I thought about lifetime, and I just thought I was like, it's coming to an end soon, so I'm about to just act like I'm in a movie, and
Ah, so you almost pictured yourself as an actress in a movie. You did, your mind took you where it needed to go. You
yeah,
pictured yourself as an actress and you told yourself the movie was coming to an end soon.
yeah. Whenever like that stuff, like the physical stuff happened, I would just close my eyes, and then I would just like at first I would just like just take like think of my oldest son, and like think
Mm-hmm.
how he is, like how big he grow, and like imagine myself with him. And
Mm.
it got to a point where that stopped working, so I
Ah.
just given like marijuana. I didn't mess with the other drugs, so I just started uh smoking, so I could feel like really sick, so I wouldn't feel anything.
Mm. Mm. I remember you told me about You in those moments sometimes there's like that fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah, fight or yeah,
What did you find yourself doing the most? Was it freezing?
yeah. I just freeze and
Mm. Yeah, I mean, and this is it's interesting because a lot of times people, I say this all the time, people tell themselves, if that was me, I would have done this or that. If I was in that situation, I would have done. You don't know what you would have done
yeah.
until you are in it
I used to
because it's go
think
ahead.
I used to
Yes. Look at Natasha. She said sister was in super survival mode.
yeah,
Super survival.
I used to
Exactly.
like my favorite movie. It's so crazy that it happened because like literally like my favorite movie growing up was Taken. So like I
Look
was
at that.
like I would always be like, oh, that happened to me. I guess what I'm getting out of there. Just
I'm
like
getting out of that. I'm gonna do this or do that. And
yeah,
then you're in it and it's totally different than you think, right?
yeah.
Woo, Queen, you are just you're phenomenal. Okay. So we went through all these situations and let's talk about something really important because you told me many things and I wrote them all down. What have you done to heal? Like, how did you get to a place where you could literally sit here and talk about this stuff with such grace? I mean, I'm looking at you. You are poised. You look beautiful. So much grace. How did you get to this place? What did you do?
Um. Okay, so my journey of healing first it started rough because I had my mom had tried to put me in trauma therapy and it didn't
Okay.
because like
Trauma therapy didn't work.
yeah
It traumatized you further.
it didn't traumatize me. It just annoyed me because I'm like, okay, I'm ready to like heal and stuff, and like my mouth. So I don't. Then it's like, don't force me to. Like I would go there and she would just be like, "Well, tell me what happened." I'm like, "No, I'm not telling you what happened." So
Yeah.
you can't force me. I don't know you. Like, hello, let's talk about us first. Like your favorite color. Let me get
Yeah.
first. It's not just no. I'm not talking to you, lady. So you.
Right. But then you met another therapist and she was and still is phenomenal. Let's talk about her.
I met Laura. Her name is Laura. So she's still my therapist today. Like I still call her on my bad days. So um Laura, she doesn't she when I went there, she didn't like rush me or anything. She let me wait. Like I didn't tell Laura like I didn't start talking to Laura about why I was actually there until a year of seeing her.
Yeah.
So
She
like
was patient.
mhm.
She let you get ready. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, whenever I went there, instead of like asking like, "Oh, what happened in this situation?" She would just like be like, "Oh, how is your day going? You want to go?" She had horses, Sage,
Mm.
so she like, "You want to go into the horses?" Like we would just talk about the horses.
Ah, it's beautiful.
Then like when I was ready to talk about it, I just she asked me like, "Oh, are you sure? Are you ready to talk about it?" Like she waited to her.
See, and that's amazing. In between, I remember you said y'all went to the horses, y'all would color, y'all would just do other stuff until you were ready.
And the horses actually like they dope because
They what?
they're dope.
I don't think I used that word since like the 80s. Where do you get that from? You a millennial. You say dope?
They
Go
like
ahead.
scary like when you're off like the horses. They knew when I was like pregnant with my youngest son. They knew it. Like they would always like kiss my stomach
Oh
and
my gosh.
like one of the horses. Sage. Okay, so one of the horses didn't really bond with me at first because like Saffron is she they okay so the horses are like people. Saffron she basically came from a family where she had to stay strong and stuff like that when they beat her and stuff like that. Sage was like me and was attracted to me. Sage
Yeah.
depression and anxiety, so every time I came, me and Sage like bonded. uh
Nice.
Sage taught me like boundaries, so Sage taught me a lot of stuff. So, and Laura actually like walked me through it. So, I like and Laura. Oh, this picture right here. this is like my healing. Like I'm a survivor picture right here behind.
Yes.
Like it basically yeah I'm me and stuff like that. So
I love it. I
yeah.
love it. Now, you also told us in the beginning that you sing, so that was a part of it, writing music. And I just love it. There's so many things you talked about trying to almost keep your mind focused on a lot of different things and not necessarily on just that.
Mhm.
Um, let's talk about the youth side. What are you doing with the youth? Because it sounds like that's a part of your healing.
Yes, we have unique blessings. We have a youth group. Um, this 12 weeks, I introduced the dance majorette in fitness.
Yep.
Me
Sorry.
and me and my partners.
Yeah, I
Um,
love it.
I'm basically like a mentor, big sister to them, and basically we're helping at risk youth, cause like if I can help stop like little girls that act like me,
You like, she like me right there. Let me reel her in. She might act up.
I don't think that they like
Sorry, my dog just came here and he is stepping on the papers that I've been dropping to the floor.
it's cause they like understand like the seriousness of it. So it's like
Yes.
maybe if I see like, hey, I actually was in it, I can, you know,
You said if I could just save one, right?
yeah.
If I could just help one, that's my whole thing. If I can. You said something really important to me. I want to say this. You talked about appreciating little things, right? Little things like what? You gave me a specific example. What was that? Like doing what?
Um, now, cause I used to take everything like for granted. I like appreciate like even like being able to take a shower when I want to, cause like I didn't. It was times where I wasn't able to take a shower.
And you definitely couldn't take one alone, right? Somebody had their eyes on you at all times, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, they had to watch you, and you can't stay in there too long.
Mm, I hate all of them. You said something to me. You said you focus on walking forward, moving forward, not looking back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a must. I can see that. And then music and drawing helps you a lot, right? I
Yes.
love those pictures behind you. Is there an auction going on where I could buy one? Can I raise my hand to buy one? $5,000. That's how they be at those art shows. You're like, that picture is not worth no 5 grand. All right. So what message do you have for teenagers, high schoolers, other kids? What's the messages that you have?
Um, just be yourself, and you don't have to try to fit in, because being, let me see, normal is boring. And just like if you feel like you don't have nobody else to talk to, you can talk to your parents. You should make them your diary, because
Mm,
they'll have your back, and they always gonna be there when everybody else is judging.
now hear this. I want to make sure we caught that. She said, "Make your parents your diary. Make your parents your diary."
Even if it's like uncomfortable, you better just look. Now, I be telling my mama all the business.
And she probably be like, "All right, enough, enough. I got. All right, we got it." I love your mama. She is awesome. Um, you said so many things. You said, "Tell your parents anything," because at the end of the day, that's who's always going to be the person that's going to ride with you. I
Hmm.
know that for a fact. That's me and my mom. And you said, I'm still learning that when even nobody else wants to deal. I'm still learning that even when nobody else wants to deal with you. You got your mom, right? Got your parents. Um, the situations you faced were very tragic, very. But is there any kind of a silver lining for you? How do you find the good in something like that? All of this stuff. Is
Um,
there a good?
I I look at like situations like even now, like if I see like news reports or something, and I just see like, oh, their body has been found dead. I
Mm,
just back and I just like, well. I'm grateful that there was a time where my mom was looking at them because they told her, the homicide people told her that I was dead.
There was a point when they told your mom you were dead.
Yeah, they told her that I was dead, and they was making it a side case.
Mm,
So I just look at little things like that, like um that could have been me on the news. So
yeah.
I don't
Um,
like nowadays. I don't take life for granted because like I had like wake up calls because like even now like in my survival journey or like my healing thing, I it was times where I was like suicidal, but I don't do that anymore. I
yeah.
just talk to like my mom, my brother, sister, my girlfriend.
Good. Good. Because you know you're not alone now. I'll say it's a process, and I'm not even going to act like I know that you got it all figured out. I'm sure you don't. I'm sure there's stuff you still think about. I'm sure there's stuff that's like the monkey on your back that you're trying to, you know. Oh, thank you so much, Natasha. You got stuff you're still working through. I got stuff I'm still working through, and I'm doing a podcast, right? Like I'm on here talking about it. But that's a part of how I'm healing because I'm a talker. I'm a person that relates to people. I'm a person that's just me. So it helps. I know one thing, you are definitely stronger now, and I know one other thing. I can see your purpose all over that beautiful face. I can see it. And you're sharing it with these young people, and that makes a difference. You told us about the stuff you're doing with the youth. I know how you're helping them. My one question I want to say, if you could snap your fingers right now, if you could like and live your dream, what would that be? What would the dream be? Come on, don't slow down now. We waiting to hear it.
I would I spending with my girl Beyonce
What you be doing, Beyonce? What was that again? Y'all be doing what?
and relaxing, chilling, having fun.
Out to eat because Beyonce is what? Why you like Beyonce? What's the Beyonce thing?
It inspired me to start singing. She's so pretty and I think she's like just cool. Like she don't care what nobody say about her or
I
nothing.
know that's right. Yeah, you she got a vibe. She does. Beyonce just has a thing. And I know she's kind of private, but at the same time, her life can only be but so private because she's B. But you talked about a house, wanting to make a house or build a house or have a house for people like that have been through things like this. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, in due time, I want to open like a house like for victims, so I could like resources and like everything like that. I want to
Yeah.
have a ground because like it's hard like for housing and stuff like where they can get in like housing.
Yeah. You talked about it a lot. You were always looking for somewhere to stay and you would end up somewhere else because you needed somewhere to stay. And the whole need somewhere to stay always turned into something else. So I totally get it. You told me one thing. You said you wish you could meet some of these traffickers face to face again. Behind bars. Let's clarify. Behind bars, them, because what would you like to do?
I just want to tell them how they made me feel and like that they was wrong. I just like I'm not mad at them because it's like it's no point in being mad. I was like I can forgive you, but I just want to look you in your face, like, cause you don't know like if they didn't kill people and like I can speak for all of them.
Oh, you want to give them a piece of your mind and then be like, and I'm walking out of here. You got to stay. Bye. Right?
I want
See
them
ya.
I just want them to feel like how I feel like when I first came home. Like I don't want you to be able to sleep at night. I just want you to think about what I just did.
I know that's right. Oh my God. You are something else. I heard through the grapevine. No, look, a little birdie had told me that you wanted to be a detective, maybe.
Yeah,
Tell us more about that.
I want to be I want to be an I don't see. I want to be a lot of stuff. I want to be like an investigator. I want to be I want to be an undercover detective.
Mm, and
Oh,
catch some of these fools.
yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
like other bad people. Then
Mm-hmm.
I also want to be like a homicide detective too.
Yes. You
I
are just
do. So
say it
like,
again. Say the last part again.
I'm gonna be a lawyer too.
Oh my God. All right, let's see that. Lawyer, detective, investigator. We need to make a list and just start going that list. What they say, a bucket list? Check, check.
Yeah.
Listen, you have just, oh my gosh, the way you tell yours, I told you you've got a presence about you that just, it gets to me whenever I see you. It just does something for me. And even in this moment, all the tragic things you said, traumatic things you said, you still gave us your heart and you still bring this like peace. I can't explain you. Like you're a beautiful spirit. So I'm going to do a closing right now, but I want to see if there's just anything else you want to say because I want to give some information to everybody that's watching. Anything else you want to share? You think you said it all? You like Angelique? I said enough. All right, listen, everybody, real quick. Thank you, beautiful. Everybody, listen, pay attention because there's a lot of warning signs. And the stuff I'm going to share with you now, there are things that I've read because I told you I research. I feel like I research all the time. Pay attention to the warning signs and notice. And you can tell me some of these things, Queen. Um, some of the things they tell you to watch out for. This is like the government. Notice if your children have, your kids, your teens have a sudden increase in money or clothing or possessions, right? Back to the phone. You kept having a phone. You kept having a phone.
I think see it's these social media apps that they be having. Like, cause me, the people that I didn't been had encounter with, they reached out on me. Snapchat, Kick, TikTok,
I don't even know what Kick is. Dang, I'm still not caught up. Okay, I know what TikTok is.
Google, like them, them main apps, and Snapchat is the number one app. Like Snapchat is the number one app because
Oh gosh.
like they just Snapchat. It don't like they don't take your stuff down. You can do anything on Snapchat.
Oh God. Okay, y'all listening? Because I'm listening. My baby keeps asking me for TikTok. The answer keeps being no.
TikTok nowadays, especially nowadays, TikTok is not for kids. It's not.
This stuff on there is just
TikTok
all
is
right. So a sudden increase in money, clothing, and possessions. Watch out for all these apps. I just learned about Kick. I didn't even know about Kick. Pay attention if your child is talking about an older boyfriend or older man at any point. Pay attention if your child is telling inconsistent stories. And also, like we talked about what's on TikTok, pay attention to any posts that are like sexually explicit pictures on social media. Watch that stuff. It's very important. If you didn't know, there is a national human trafficking hotline. This is a national number. The number is 888-373-7888. I'm going to say it again. The National Human Trafficking Hotline number is 888-373-7888. You can call that number. It's 24 hours. It's toll free. Here's the other thing. They have multilingual and it's a multilingual anti-trafficking hotline. So you can call to report a tip. You can connect with the anti-trafficking services that are in your local area. You can even request training or technical assistance, general information, or even specific anti-trafficking resources. The last thing I'm going to tell you is that this hotline handles calls from all regions of the U.S., from a wide range of callers, including but not limited to potential trafficking victims. So they hear from. Go ahead, Queen.
You have to watch women too, because it's not just men that recruits.
Watch women too.
And
Watch when we told you the pastor's wife, the wife of the gang member. Go ahead.
you have to watch everybody because it was at a certain point in time where I had, you know, wanted to be able to have a phone and wanted them to trust me and recruited one girl, but I let her out because I
Yeah.
did wrong.
See, but I want to just say something about that real quick. And I know we're way past the time, but this is important, y'all. So I read a quote somewhere, and I'm not going to get the words right, but the point of the quote was this: when you're in survival mode, you do things that you wouldn't do if you were just in your regular life walk. Survival, the things you do to survive almost make no sense because when you step away from, you're like, oh my God, I actually helped somebody get into trafficking. Like, that's not even my thing. I hate this thing. Why would I do that?
Yeah,
When you are surviving.
yeah. And that's why I said it's like it's women too. It's all people. It's all people.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. That's really important.
You just have to be careful because anybody will switch up for the right price.
Anybody will switch up for the right price. Y'all hear that? Anybody will switch up for the right price. It's so scary. So listen, I want to make sure you guys understand. I'll say it one more time. That hotline is 888-373-7888. You can get legal professional, you can get service providers, there's researchers, there's all kind of stuff going on at this hotline. So, and again, it's multilingual. So that's it for tonight. I don't know if there's any more comments. I hate that I couldn't get my, or maybe they are coming through. Somehow it seems to be, it says it's all, I don't know what's going on. But we got all the comments. Natasha was lighting us up. So thank you, girl. We appreciate you, Queen.
Thank
Mm, you no, thank you. Because not every day do I get the chance to do something like this, especially with somebody as beautiful, such a beautiful soul as you. You're phenomenal. And thank you to Queen Unique for letting me talk to your baby. I know you listening somewhere. You're going to watch this somewhere. That's my girl. Anyway, this is a good night. Anything else you want to say? I'm guessing not. I
you.
think we're done. Everybody, thank you so much. We will see you next Sunday. I have a different guest on next Sunday. It's supposed to be a woman who's going to talk to you. She's a clinician. So she's going to talk to us more about what is life like after the storm? How do you find the beauty in brokenness? How? You know all about that, don't you? So anyway, thank you all for staying on. You spent an extra 38 minutes with us. This is phenomenal. I don't even know what else to say. I think we're done, right? That's it. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks, baby.
Thank
See
you.
you guys next week.